If you're confused on the team that I actually support, it is Grimsby Town down in League 2. But it's not all bad actually. After last season's torment, new manager Artell has Grimsby up the league. But today it all changes as Artell is out and I am the new manager with lofty expectations, as I want to carry on Artell's good work so far to take the club I support, Grimsby, to the Champions League. As yes, people, I have never been more excited. If I don't sound excited, I'm getting a little bit of a cold, but I am really loving this team, which is red hot in real life. If you compare this team now to Grimsby's team last year, you'll see the ratings are different because this team is a lot better. Sorry to previous players, but that's my personal thoughts anyway, as this man Cameron Janet has been amazing, 63 rated. Danny Rose, our captain, scores goals for fun and winds players up. Then we've got the likes of Doug Tharm and Curtis Thompson. Also, Icelandic international Yasin Dadis Van Thorsen. I had to wait on rebuilding Grimsby because he wasn't in the game. But now he is. There's a lot of good players. Jordan Davies of Wrexham, a lot of good youngsters as well, which we're going to get into the team. As no strict challengers, but we cannot make more than 3 free agent signings per season to make this less easy. And also, they might not be in the starting 11 or bench even, but we want to take 3 players from the current team to the Champions League winning one. That's just an aim for me, as we've got £1 million to spend, and we're going to spend that very well because I've got a little idea. As already mentioned once or twice already, Janet is an amazing player and he has come from the Irish League. I think we could do some scouting there. As also, youth scouting. Can never forget about this objective. We're sending a 5-star scout that we start with to England. And I'm also changing the shape up. I'm going 4-3-3 attack with a wing play philosophy. And I know that does look stupid, because Van Thorsen and Vernam actually aren't wingers yet. But we're going to train them as wingers. And I'll show you what this team looks like. This at full strength. We've just got our wingers to change, but they're fine on their respective wings. And probably need a cam, but they're also is a goalie problem. Yes, we do have 4 goalkeepers, but Jackson Smith's only on loan for 3 months because in real life he's an emergency keeper, because Jordan Wright is injured and Eastwood is injured. So in the future seasons, probably we do look for another shot stopper. But for now, it is a cam, and I've got 2 players on the shortlist. We've got Ellis Chapman in Ireland and also Ross Tierney. And with Chapman being English, we can actually bring him back to England for a relatively cheap price, and he is only on a 1-year deal. So I am going to sign him up, and this is our first signing of the Grimsby to glory. I'm very excited about this one. Only 400k. Slip straight into that cam position, but I also aren't going to get rid of Ainley. He moves on to the bench, as I want to improve the players currently here. You can see no transfer list of players, only the youngsters out on loan, and 2 21-year-olds. Got big faith in Evan Curry, playing really well in real life, but the first player out is not him. It's actually Matty Carson, going to play in Turkey. Then we've got Cam Gardner going to Morecambe in our league, and the last one's Evan Curry going to Dynamo Bucharest. Another bizarre move, but let's check our new academy, which looks pretty promising, because at the top of the list of players, we've got this guy Parkinson, 63 already. He's going to have to be on the bench, or will he actually just be on the bench? As if I go and do that, that team looks a lot better. The only issue at the moment now is I've got to renew some contracts, and we don't have much money, so please wish me luck. And here we are at the end of the season. My illness is kicking in, but I know one thing that will help, both this video and my illness. It's leaving a like on the video. 1k likes and Grimsby will be back, and also we might do another League 2 massive rebuild soon. And then subscribe to the channel. We're after 50k before January. The channel's growing like more than ever. Can you be a part of this? I'd appreciate if you made yourself a part, as this team playing a part and being competitive. Look at some of the ratings. We've got Danny Rose 31, who's gone to a 69 overall. That needs investigating. And then also Parkinson. Brilliant 2 players. We also lost Smith, our goalkeeper, so we got Wright at a 63. Janet and Tharm doing well. And also Kieran Green, who does have an in-game face. And I absolutely love it, because he's my favourite player. As there's his face, he is 27-year-old though, so he might not last the entire save, and I'm pretty sad about that. Still though, there's living proof that players can still grow, even into their 30s as Danny Rose. scored 37 goals. And now we see why he grew, as only one player running out of contract, Harvey Cribb, and also we lost most of our loan players. I did decide to play them all, as our loan players out of the club is 59 rated Carson. Oh, none of them really good. And that's a bit of a shame, but what isn't a shame is a 5th place finish. We're actually into the playoffs. Hopefully that in real life, as the FA Cup first round we lost to Accrington Stanley, we can't win them all. We were also out on penalties in the first round of the Carabao, and the Bristol Street Motors out in the knockout. However, speaking of knockouts, we did knock out our semi-finalists MK Don 6-4, so we are into the playoff final, which I'm going to flick to now, and it's a first season promotion with the club that I love, Grimsby Town, get in! Trophy into the cabinet, and I absolutely love that one, as I'm going to just gonna kiss the badge for more luck, which I've just noticed we will definitely need next season, as going to League One with minus £39,000. No idea how that was the case, as Parkinson got the man of the match in the playoff final last year. What is going to be our budget? £4 million, so that's better. We've actually got money. And I think last year I lost most of it because of the contracts, which are running out this year as well, and we've got to sign most of these up. We don't want to lose our best players like Danny Rose, Svan Thorsen. We want to be able to add to them, as what position do we look for? I mean, the only place we've signed is a cam, but we could do with one. Chapman 24, yes, he's still got a bit of time to grow, and actually goalkeeper, because Wright is 26. And last year's academy, before we go and get a new one, we do have an academy player, Reggie Clayton, 16. He will get promoted and obviously added to the loan list, as we're scouting England again. We've got to keep looking in our country until at least the championship. As you can see, I'm going attack focus. We can grow attackers there and sign more defensive players, as this is the transfer list this year. And also, I want to say, the players I have transfer listed, I don't actually hate playing in real life. Thompson is immense. I like Wilson, I like Ainley, I like Pike, I like Eastwood, but we do need to make money. Alongside a lot of players out on loan, including youngsters Curry and Carson again, as I just don't think they're ready, but I do want to hold hope on them. As also anybody hoping, you know, I would stay away from the free agent market, I can go and get 3, and I am going to utilise those spots. After all, need to reach the Premier League, need to get these good players in, so Sadiq Fofana is the first free agent, alongside Fousseni Diabate, just a backup right winger, and Connor Carty as our backup and final free agent. Backup striker, sorry, I meant to say, as he's a very young player. We did just sell Wilson to Bradford City in the league below. Diabate is highly rated, maybe he could shuffle to the left in the team, and Clayton now on the bench. A relatively strong bench there, with a relatively strong team. So what I'm thinking is we put a lot of money into a goalkeeper and money back into the academy. Ooh, and £2 million. Coaches were actually more expensive than I thought. So maybe just a goalkeeper. We'll leave the academy till the championship. And I tell you what, looking in Ireland is not the worst thing at all, because Connor Kearns, a goalkeeper, 67 rated, and could be as cheap as 660k, as no, they want 770, but I am gonna give them that money, as here he is. And now we can finally sell one of our other keepers, as this current team now, yes, there is 4 new players in it, but being majority Grimsby and being on the verge of the championship, very good feeling, as we've just got to loan players out now, and we only lose 1 in Rodgers to having no contract. I'm really enjoying this career mode with the team, of course I do support, as the academy I didn't touch on, but we still do have the players end of season. Leo Davis, 65 rated 17-year-old. We've looked out big time with some of the youth we've already got. And I say that because on the bench, Clayton's now a 68 rated. Curry's got to a 61, and that is even without a loan deal. Now Davies to add to the bench, and this is the first team. There's some improvements to be made, and we do have another youth player in there. Parkinson 74, unbelievable for League One of England, and he can go and be a striker if needs be, if Danny Rose retires, which he hasn't done so far, as at 32-year-old he scores 27 goals. I'll always love you, Rosie. You're stuck here for life, I'm afraid, as this is how the table finishes. Another playoff campaign. I knew we would be up there. Yes, you just aim to survive, but I kind of knew we'd be up there. Yes, I don't know if we'll win the playoffs this year, but I love that we've got there straight away. As a mini cup run this year, beaten by Chelsea in the 3rd round, and Cardiff in the 3rd round of the Carabao after beating Swansea. We stopped that derby from happening as then the BSM trophy, a 3-2 loss to Barrow, but that's not what we care about. It's the League One playoffs as the first time this year in FC 25 we lose in the playoffs. It has been some time coming, but 5-3 to Rotherham unfortunately means we stay in League One. Still, I'm not actually too angry that we didn't get promoted. It means a longer save for you guys, and I manage the team I support longer. We get a free agent reset, so we can go and sign them again, and we keep on building this team, and I'm still looking at the defense with Hume, my first choice replacement, 68 rated, the assist king in real life, or just turned assist king. He could do with replacing, maybe Diabate replacing, but I just see our cam down here, Ellis Chapman, 67. Probably sign another one of those as £4 million. That's good for our academy. And maybe we get one more coach. And we sign contracts up, but I actually can't believe it. I feel like crying Danny Rose. He's gonna retire this year. After I just said he wasn't leaving. That's really upset me now, so I've got to look for a striker through the academy this year. And also go and sign one, because we've got $3 million for a striker, cam, and left back, $1 million each. And we should actually look in our league this year. As let's face it, we should have pulling power. We finished high in the league last year, and I believe we finished above Wickham with Richard Kone. Is he amazing? No, but he's going to be less than £1 million, and plus he can still grow whilst Danny Rose starts this season. Oh dear though, more than we wanted to spend. 1.1 million is cost, and he doesn't come alone, so we've spent a big bit of budget here on another left back who isn't actually as good as Hume in Maxwell. I do believe though he can grow to be better than Hume, as he's 3 years younger and only 3 ratings less. And I'm just thinking about this team, right? And I know we need to sign a cam replacement, but could Davis be him? He's already 66 overall. Perfect. In that time, he should be the same rating as Chapman. As now, I believe we're done. We're dusted. We don't need a cam, but still got a bit of money. And you might not like what I'm going to say, or do, because I'm flicking the switch towards free agents, and I'm gonna make the most of it, getting some good players in. And to be fair, I've only got 2 in a bad right back backup Lawrence, and then Nelson Abbey all the way from Olympiacos. And he's been brilliant, being a left-footed 23-year-old. But the rest of the team also brilliant on paper. Parkinson leads the way, that's rightly so, and predictable, with Rose coming close, and also George McEachran. This guy actually won an international tournament with England, so there's no surprises there, but there is on the bench. Svan Thorsen, 75, he's a real-life Icelandic player. Clayton, our youth player, and also the left-back Maxwell. They'll all be starting next year as, we've got another left back to cover Hume once he leaves in Matty Carson out on loan. As let's check the loan, lads. We've got Richard, 64 rated. Where is Evan Curry? Also at Brescia, 69 rated. Now, Bresca's the place to go. If I ever get another loan deal, I'm sending my players there. Unfortunately, can't see their stats, and in his final professional year, Danny Rose goes and bags 21 goals. But can he get a promotion landed with that? Yes, he can! To the championship we go, 3 seasons deep. Done very well here with Grimsby, loving coaching the team I support, and loving this cup run, getting to the round of 16. Aston Villa beat us, and the Carabao Cup first round, we're beaten by a local rival, actually smashed by Hull City. We don't win the BSM, obviously always getting beat in this. And we don't need to be in the playoffs because we already are promoted. As what's our academy look like? I don't remember going through this. We've got Platt, Jarvis, Francis, Proctor. A lot of decent players. In fact, only one under 60 rated. Which is absolutely phenomenal as we're building Grimsby's academy. Seriously, look at the amount of players we've got here. Oh, the list keeps on going because there's some real-life youngsters at the club. Evan Curry now championship standard, I believe, and also Cam Gardner, probably not championship standard. As you know which position we need here, and I always love signing attackers late on, once we climb the leagues, as that's exactly what we will be doing. Striker is a necessity here in the championship with £8 million. still should get us a decent one. And how many players do we have? Right, 35 at the club at the moment, 11 being attackers and only 9 being defenders. And 3 of those are left backs, so defense we could do with more of, but we do have worse attackers. We've got a weird balance here. Oh, but one thing I didn't consider, most of them attacking and midfield players are actually going out on loan because they are from the academy. As speaking of, we can actually go and buy another scout. With the first 5-star, obviously still going England. And the second one, you guys in the comments are telling me to go to Kenya. But the final one, Iceland, because of Svan Thorsen. I want to find him a friend because he's the only Icelandic player here. Or maybe, actually, we could sign him a friendly striker in Good Johnson, 25, 6'2", Danny Rose replacement. Get this man into the club and then get a backup into the club as well. For 4.8 million, if we could do that as a deal, that would be phenomenal as it is, because he's come to Grimsby Town on a record-breaking deal, which I hope I don't regret, but it's took the money down a bunch. 156k. I might have overspent there. But we did need a striker, and the team overall looks fantastic. But only 3 original players in Warren and George McEachran, and also Svan Thorsen, so that's a little bit concerning. But even more concerning is the players that we're storing here. So we have got to start selling, even though I do like a lot of these players, like Charles Vernon, for example. Let him progress his career at Dundee, and let all these youngsters just go out on loan for now. As we've got 4 out so far, but when you do scroll up here, Connor Carthy, Hume, Cass, Gardner sold to give us £5 million. Now, this money's come from nowhere. We've still got to pay youth players' contracts, but we can also get another player in. And I'm not going to spend it all. I'm going to go easy with Woodward, a youth player for £3 million before we look at our own youth players. As this man looks good enough to grow past Good Johnson, the only issue is, I hope I don't find one right now in our own academy. And of course, I mean a player like him, as Ellis Allison is our only good one this year. And I obviously can't loan him out with promoting him just at the end right there. But we can check the loaned out players, and I've got to say it's not great. A 67 in plat is our second best behind Jarvis. He could be a player, but the players we've already got here, amazing in Parkinson. We already know his quality. Then Reggie Clayton and also Davis. Had to change position, as a player not getting played in his position straight up is Woodward on the bench, but he's still gone to a 74. Did he score many goals? Yes, he did. The most at the club in 16, though. 13, 12, and then 2 sets of 10. McEachran's had a very good season. Now the captain, 81 rated. But them stats overall just don't fill me with confidence. And it's weird because the ratings do. We've got a 30-year-old Kearns now, an 80 rated player. Also Svan Thorsen. 2 OG players actually hitting over 80 rated, which is a very good feeling, but they have to continue to grow because I want to take them to the Champions League. It is an 8th place finish. We won't get into the playoffs, finishing just above the rivals Hull City on 2 goal difference, but Everton by 2 points make up them playoff teams. And it is a shame because I thought we could get up to the Premier League, as Fulham, a Premier League team, beat us in round 4 of the FA Cup. A round 2 defeat in the Carabao to Burnley. And there's the playoff teams, because there's no BSM trophy. And that's pretty much all, because we have 1 youth player probably ready. But the last crop of players we just promoted, not showing much promise. For me, 1 decent youth player, Jarvis, who isn't in the first team. As this team is getting to be beautiful, we probably need to focus on fullbacks, but that would upset me because Warren is an OG player who's been here from the start, as it's £8 million a game. Not bad for a repeat budget, but there is the likes of Everton here, inside the Championship, and also Leeds United, and also Sheffield United. You know how good their players are. So another hectic season, and we will get signings done, of course, but I'm going to start the youth again. I'm going England with the 5-star scout, Zambia with the other scout, and Tonga with the final scout, as I am sending these to weird nations to try and find some good players from lesser football nations. And shout out to yourself if you were actually from one of them nations. Let me know in the comments below, as I believe I've found our first player. Hassan Saad, a young left back from LSK. Unreal scouting done here. thank you to our scouts, who went and found this man who's the same rating as Maxwell, but will overtake him like Maxwell overtook you. Very nice going in. So Maxwell's now on the bench, and to be fair, Matty Carson falls into our reserve pile, which I do hate to see because I want to keep Grimsby players here. I mean, we've got Wright, who's an original, Carson himself, McJanny on the bench still here, also Tyrell Warren, and also Evan Curry, so we still have got some players. Kieran Green, McEachran, it looks like midfield's a common theme here. Svan Thorsen on the wing. I never want to get rid of you, mate. In fact, the only players I want to get rid of is youth players out on loan, as Warren, an original, bid on by a Premier League side, and I have turned that down. I want to keep Warren here as long as possible, as £3 million is enough. We don't need 9 million because we only need bench players, and especially a bench winger. So Khaled Razak, a real life player from Wilhelm, he's the next through the door, as I can't believe what I'm seeing here. Kai Havertz at Tottenham. He's done Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. What a weird guy you are, Kai. But then again, I'm getting sidetracked. We're not in the Prem yet, and we don't have to worry about these things. In fact, all we have to worry about is making our own signings, which we cannot afford. That's brilliant money management, as there's no first teamer we could actually spend that money on. So we're going to our academy with 2 players worth promoting, and I've gone ahead and done that. But something funny I want to show you with this academy. Look at this list. If I go in name order, our Tongan scout, well, definitely stayed in one family home, as we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lemurs. Lemurs everywhere, and I'm not talking the animals, as this is what our team looks like. Some growth, some not. Take Good Johnson and Davis, for example. Not too great, and also our new right back, Saad, is sadly not growing. Then on the bench, though, we do have Maxwell, who wants his place, Woodward, and also little Evan Curry. He's had to play catch-up, but is 78 rated, and he's still a CDM. He can grow further. As you can see, he's been training as centre mid, and he's bloody taken ages there. But we could also try left back. 78 weeks, you know. And he might actually have to be, because look, we've got 2 left backs leaving. Carson and Maxwell unfortunately wouldn't sign contracts. And that is really annoying, because that's a big sum of money gone. But at least next season, we should be able to afford players. Because my beloved Grimsby Town will be in the Premier League. We finished 5 points clear of Ipswich, just behind Leeds. Sure, no trophy, but get in there, Grimsby. Now, I'm hoping we don't build up on that. I'm hoping we just survive in the Prem. As like I said before, the more the struggle, the longer the save is. And with this being with Grimsby, I want to struggle, but we beat Chelsea and beat Spurs in the FA Cup to reach the quarters, where we lost to Bournemouth, of course, on penalties. Never can get bloody through as round of 16 of the Carabao, as there's the playoff teams. You can't see, of course, who they're going to be, and I don't really care because we're not competing in it. With this team that we've got, as I'm going to change it to overall ratings, look at this, man. We've got an 85. We've got another over 80 youngster who probably will sell for a lot, so we won't be short of money and won't be short of goals, with Woodward getting 27. Our little proven goal scorer, who isn't actual youth prospect from the Grimsby Academy, but we may still carry on with that. As let's check the money first, because we do lose a few left backs, and 57 million might all get put into players. And I was just on my way to grab Evan Curry for the first team, but he's not on the bench. Where the heck has he gone? Okay, I don't really understand this one. How is Evan Curry at Ipswich now? I've gone from training him as a left back to suddenly just losing him. So yes, the left back's needed. That's frustrating, as also centre backs, and to be fair, all the defence, because Warren is 30 now. But still, he's the last thought, because we do need to get a left back in. And instead of looking in other leagues, I am just going to look in the Championship. And I'm so glad I did this, because I saw his name straight away. Harry Amas at Bournemouth. I'm definitely stealing for left back. As soon as I saw his name, I knew I had to have him in my Mariners side. He's an investment, as well as best left back we currently have at the club. Granted, expensive, but him and Svan Thorsen, that's a wing to be scared of. himself, as now we move to centre-backs. Saying that, not getting rid of him, McJanic stays all safe if it even is down to me, because we need to keep 3 players. And I don't know if you've noticed, Green, I've just been renewing his contract, baby, because he's one of my favourite players. And then, of course, we've got George McEachran, who I plan on keeping the entirety of this save, as look in the Championship, man, there's some brilliant centre-backs. Levi Colwell's here. I mean, Everton didn't win the playoffs. That's actually a disgrace. Maybe we just look in Everton's team. But no one actually young enough and good enough. They've got this guy Holden, but I don't want another regen player. I want somebody real, and this man is very real. Ted Mengi at Luton, he must have been there for quite a while. But for 24 million quid, I think he is a steal. Turning into an ex-United team from Amas to Ted Mengi, as those two sit in our team and sit rather comfortably. Yes, only 2 players, but I am impressed with our business, as only £3 million, and think we have to keep that much. And one thing I didn't want to touch going into the Premier League was the tactical preset. I just thought I wouldn't jinx it. Did we really need to touch it? Well, judging by our first team and them ratings that we have, I think we've done just fine. Seriously, in the Prem, Matthew Parkinson is now an 89. Kearns, who would have thought this? An 85 goalkeeper. Clayton 85, George McEachran also 85, and the signings including Woodward, he's now an 84 already. Scoring our most goals with 23 in the Premier League in only 40 games. He joined as a 70 rating. Speaking of a 70 rating, we've got one who's accelerating. Ruben Wall, the left back, up to a 74 at Cardiff. As yes, I loaned a few boys out, even the older youth players who are 22 not doing well, but still it was worth taking that risk. They weren't going to play anyway, and as you can see at the bottom, we do not go down to the Championship with Leicester, Burnley and Middlesbrough. Also, Spurs, I mean, it was nowhere close, the gap with points, but Spurs are down there in the table. We finished 10th, sandwiched between Chelsea and Manchester United. There is worse position to be in the Premier League first season. As what about the FA Cup? Oh, there's no better position to be in the FA Cup, because we've just won our first major trophy. Beating Preston after Brentford, the game before that Bristol, and the game before that was also another Bristol. Bit of an easy run, as we didn't win the Carabao Cup. This one we lost actually to the winners, Crystal Palace. So not too embarrassing there, and we're already into Europe with the team that we do have, as I want to check players' evaluations. Surely Parkinson costs a lot, and we can't really change anything here. Also, Amas, he's gone up +5 in his first season. Some incredible growth as evaluation I want to look at, and Matthew Parkinson, 132 million. Genuinely incredible, and a player we could actually sell, but we've got to judge it with the signings we make as any shuffles to this team. I don't like we've lost Kieran Green. I'm sure I signed him up to a contract, but at least we've got McJanic on the bench. Still not first team worthy, but Fofana is, as I'm going to shove him right there, switch them up. There we go. And I'm actually not looking at right back. Yes, we could replace Warren, but I don't want to sell him to get another player in, but I will sell Kearns to get in another goalkeeper. Strongly feel we need one. As a £44 million. Yes, it has gone down like usual, but that's still not a bad amount of money. Not bad at all, as we can probably sell one of our left backs as well, and maybe sell a centre back, such as Nelson Abbey. As there goes Sard, and I actually might sell 2 left backs. As Ruben Wall's out as well, 15 million to Bayern Munich. And there's Sard himself, he's gone for 9.5 million. Followed out by Kearns for almost 30. As one keeper I would have loved to have back at Grimsby Town, because he's actually been there before, is Dean Henderson from Crystal Palace. But as you just saw right there, he's at Hellas Verona and he's 33. As I found a 22-year-old, Fuad Saeed, the regen Bono, who's actually got better than Bono. And come on, rest the club is quite big and all. They're in the Champions League, but I still think 60 million on the table should be enough to to tempt him to Grimsby? As let's be honest with ourselves, we are the biggest club in the world, Grimsby Town that is, and now we're showing it with our signings. If only this could be repeated in real life someday. Maybe in 6, 7, 8 years time? I'm not gonna kid myself though, as £20 million left, probably enough for a player if we just sell another player. But is there anyone to sell? Because at the moment, actually, it looks like we need more youthful centre mids on the bench. And besides, our first team is young and will continue to grow, so no point in replacing them. Instead, we'll look for younger players, as I believe I found two, as Maurizio Conti and Sebastian Jonsson, if put into the Europa League, could still grow. As I don't know why I keep looking at Kai Havertz, but he's made a move again. This man doesn't like settling. To Nice, I believe it was. But anyway, we only care about our incomings. In Seb Jonsson first, and Conti second. That makes me feel a little more comfortable with our bench players, as this team is the team starting Svan Thorsen on international duty, and the rest looking very good. But like Man United have taught us, your team can look good, but it has to perform good, especially in this Europa League. And in the amount of time it's took to sim to the end of this season, I feel a real cold coming on. But the team is red hot still. Woodward, 87, now a 90 rated player here at Grimsby. The youth doing too good, but then the original's too bad. Warren, an 82. Now, Svan Thorsen has gone up, but still he's 31-year-old, an 85 overall. McJanet going down to a 75 on the bench, and Wright now a 70. We have to get a move on. Try and fly up the leagues before we fly back down them, as Woodward 24 goals, 10 from McEachran and Parkinson, then 10 from Jarvis, who's still at a 78 rated, probably because of this man, Yas and Daddy's Svan Thorsen. But still, that's not too bad. As the league, I'd say that's bad. Yes, I know it's improvement on last year, 9th instead of 10th. But to move up one place is bad enough. Where is Manchester United? They are 17th. They've been in a relegation battle. Is that the power of losing Harry Amas? As we lose the Community Shield finale. And we also lose in the FA Cup. Round 4 to Liverpool. Best team in the tournament as round 3 of the Carabao Cup. Losing to Aston Villa, who did, I believe, finish below us. And I thought we was done there as we finished 19th in the league phase of the Europa League, but then beaten by the Scottish Rangers. And I can't lie, quite disappointed to lose to Rangers. Their ratings aren't good apart from this man, Diamande. Yeah, nothing else I'm seeing. So to lose 5-3 to them tells me one thing. We've got to improve our defence. Our attackers are well rated as £68 million. We'll sign the player I've definitely got in mind. As centre-back pairing, I don't want to break up just yet. It's gotta be Warren, and I really do feel bad. Real-life Grimsby player getting relegated to the bench, but hey, there's 3 real-life players there, McJanet, Warren and Wright. As I also want to see where Kieran Green ended up, but it looks like he's retired. I'm gonna miss you, Greenie. But the show must go on, and what a show this man put on against Finland the other night, Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'd love to get this man in, as it says the team won't sell him, but he does have a release clause, which may be better than that 47 million. And as I click the button, you can see 39 million. We're gonna get ourselves a deal. And I love that we've managed to do that. As welcome to Grimsby. Maybe not better than Warren in real life, but Trent Alexander-Arnold joining the town. Buzzing as there we go. He fits straight in at right back. But still, with his stats, have we signed a disguised midfielder? There's always speculation about him going into the middle of the park, as he probably could do so, but I might not just risk that. After all, strengthen the defence. Keyword defence, not midfield. There's 20 million left. I think it's time for another bench player. Because out of the ones we signed last year, Conte's done okay, and actually Johansson's done alright, so we might not need a bench centre mid. Maybe we go Cam, as we are selling our current one, or backup current one, our first signing Ellis Chapman. Giving us 32 million, and it's a race between these two to try and sign for the mighty Mariners. And that race is won by Morgan Gibbs-White. So welcome to your place on the bench behind Davis. As here he is sitting down there. But I've just realised as well, where the heck has Good Johnson gone? Why do our players disappear? Genuinely no clue, as he's ended up at Galatasaray. And last year he was here, as I offered contract. But he's decided not to stay, and at least we do have goal scorers in Woodward and Parkinson, hopefully taking us to the Champions League. And I am just hoping, well, that guy's hair's really messed up, but I can't get distracted that we are in the Champions League. As can you look at that team and seriously tell me how it doesn't get Champions League? Just look at it. Look at it. 90 rated. Our goalkeeper is 91 in Saeed, which is amazing. Honestly, one of the world's best. Trent's picked up an injury, and our weakest players in the team is Trent, Fofana, and Svan Thorsen, who I hate that I might move soon. Or hate that I might have to move soon. I'm speaking so quickly, I can't really get it right. And that is the team on paper. Look at that. Look at the ratings. But of course, football not played on paper. As goal scorers first, we've got Woodward with 30 and Parkinson with 14. Very nice as top four. Top four, it isn't even that. It's a Premier League win with 8 defeats and 8 draws. Grimsby do the impossible, or possible, I hope, up here and win the Premier League. At the third time of asking? Let me keep dreaming as Cardiff win the FA Cup, and have we got anywhere near? Cardiff actually beat us. Interesting, as Forest win the Carabao Cup this year. So it's Cardiff, Grimsby and Forest winning the English trophies. That's a little bit insane, as where are we in the Champions League? Oh, we're not in it. Why am I presuming we're already in it? That's idiotic of me, but one thing I do want to presume is that number right there is increased to its highest ever. As it's all fun and games taking Grimsby to the Premier League title, but we need to make that team on par with the Madrids, the German powerhouses, the Parises of this world. We've just somehow got to get a better defence. That's what I would say is first. As £179 million. So yes, that number's got higher, and I'm going to be spending it. As first player first, now I know I've not gone through the positions, but you can see who I'm typing in because I want to bring him back. Evan Curry, who I saw last season was an 84 rated, 5-star weak foot, 33.5 million. Wanted him back since the moment we let him go, but he's rejected our first offer. Probably because his rating went up. 2.85 in the midst of trying to sign him, as I was going to put him in defence, but Fofana looks pretty decent. He'd have to go on the bench, probably replacing McJanet, as I'm hoping he can play in that centre-back backup position. As in the meantime, whilst Newcastle have fallen off on this save, we're going to try and get the creature to Grimsby. Unreal signing for £57 million, so we might still have some left over after signing him and Curry. As yes, he comes back. Welcome to the Mariners, Evan. It's just basically been a loan to Ipswich, plus a big fee to get him back. But I think our dream's over, boys. 220 weeks to change him into a centre-back? Are you having a joke, mate? Takes him less time to turn to a left-back, 53 weeks, and I just don't get this. Why is that the stat? Anywho, he's down here with Abby and Warren, as I don't want to replace Wright, but I do want to replace Jones. Need a backup striker who's going to do the job at the Mariners, an experienced Premier League man, Contreras. Could be it. So 44 million for a player to sit on the bench, and then an extra 6 for a backup Champions League goalkeeper. As there's how our bench looked at the end of the season, apart from Curry, Svan Thorsen and Warren both going down. Good job they came out of this team, but also Trent Alexander-Arnold, 83 rated, 34-year-old. Seems the only player that lasted is George McEachran, who used to play for Chelsea and did win an English tournament. Then again, we've got David Woodward, we've got Saeed the goalkeeper, and Parkinson, who has been here almost from the start. And we should do well in the Champions League, as 41 goals for Woodward. Now, he should be Ballon d'Or nominated if we don't go into next season. The Premier League is still winnable, as I have stopped it a game before the final game of the season, because It would ruin the Champions League if we do get into it, as we do win the Community Shield. But as always, that does not count as a major trophy to me. Even with Grimsby, as we do win the FA Cup again, we're picking up a lot of trophies and makes me very happy with my current club. Well, not my current club, the club I support. Getting that wrong right there. I'm getting very ill as the video goes on. As where are we in the Carabao? Beaten by Chelsea on penalties. And that's actually very funny because Chelsea are the team we're competing for the Premier League with. We need that revenge, as we did well in the Champions League. First time in it, and we won the entire league phase. Still might not do us a favour, and it didn't getting PSG, but just our quality, in fact, that gets past them easily. Seriously won the league phase and got them, but then we got Hoffenheim, and then we got Real Madrid, who we somehow beat 4-2. To end up with Bayern Munich in the finale of this series, and I've got to make some changes, because of course our team's getting older. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. I don't know why Trent's not played because of Warren. I'm going to try play Evan Curry there. Now he still would be 81 rated. Even with his -4 rating, as I'm going to make him a false back. Not a wing back, just like Harry Amas is. Due to being out of position, as can we win this Premier League? We do win this game, but does that mean a trophy? As now we're going to check, and it does. We beat Chelsea to it. But still, we're not going to end there, as we go for the Champions League title. And this just hits different, playing in a Champions League final with the club that I support, as I believe that was Schalke's ground. I mean, not to call bias here, but Bayern Munich have played Schalke a hell amount of times in Germany in the past few years, as Parkinson with a crossing, maybe it is towards the back stick, and that's got to be a handball. Are we going to get a penalty here? No, a free kick, and it looks like the only thing from Germany is not the stadium we're playing in, but the official's nationality. No way a free kick there, as how has that ball slid through to Musiala? How has he still got the ball? Musiala with the shot. Very poor defensively, as, oh my days, that header, and the ball in the back of the net, which we somehow cannot defend. Musiala with the ball in, and what a terrible replay angle. It's all going wrong here. The gameplay, the scoreline, genuinely the worst start with my favourite team, so this isn't right, as Curry put a cross in. Woodworth, win your header, mate. Come on, mate, you've got to be doing that, as Musiala. He just skips past us, and McEachran's left to put a tackle in. He shouldn't be the one sweeping up. A man with 24 goals in a season left to defend is bizarre, as Musiala, again, somehow gets a good shot off. Better than anything we've put together. Dreadful in this first half. Evan Curry can't play right back. I am going to have to shuffle the team around. Maybe after a goal here, though, because Woodward is through, and a slip in the middle for McEachran, the original player. George McEachran, the captain and current Grimsby player, is the man to score the goal in the Champions League final. But hopefully not the only goal, as that's a terrible slip, Militao, and just went through one goal to level the game up for the Mariners. As yes, this team needs change. You can see Fofana is absolutely shattered, so maybe this is the change. Trent Alexander-Arnold on. Keep the formation the same, as at right back is out wide, and he does have the whipped playstyle plus, which we could maybe use for Woodward. Just run, Trent Alexander-Arnold. Run. You're past your man now, and there's a man in the middle to aim for. It's a good cross towards him. Just couldn't find him, though. Musiala, he's causing big problems. Always running at Amas, and that is a better ball than we crossed in. Great save, though, for the corner, and Parkinson, that's dealt with. Woodward, get rid of it. I do not want to concede next. As in my eyes, next goal wins. And this is a decent move. Musiala again. We're under a little bit of pressure now. Game's flipped on its head as from the corner. Parkinson eventually is growing into the game, but it's took him a bloody long time to. And Trent on the ball again here. I'm not going to actually trust him to cross again. Terrible the first time round. As Parkinson to run it here, drill that to the edge of the box. That's a little nip in the box. And still we plod along in extra time, as what a ball, Trent. If anyone can pass a ball, it's him into Woodward in the 92nd minute. What a way to win it. I believe the first last minute winner comes in the Grimsby save, and Woodward, you know, mate, I could not be prouder. As soon as this ball is kicked, referee goes and blows his whistle as I have taken the club I support to the Champions League title, and I honestly can't believe it, with two current Grimsby Town centre mids in McEachran lifting that trophy. Black and white never look so good on them ribbons. And also Evan Curry putting a shift in. 1k likes for Grimsby Town to return, as I definitely want to do them again, but comment more teams below.